Hey, Kyle is wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NJPW G1 Night 16 from August 13th, 2022. Live from Tokyo, Japan at the Machida Gym. Sorry, that's hard to say. Anyway, NJPW returns to Machida for the first time in over 3 years as G1 Climax 32 rattles to the wire here as we're heading straight towards the Nippon Budokan on August 16th, where we'll have the first night of a triple header be for league matches, and then we'll go to the semis and finals. We'll also have to find out if Jay White is still going to be undefeated going into his final match, as he's got a big main event tonight. Jay missed the last two events with a heat stroke, but both those nights Jay didn't have a black match. Now it'll be 6 days since Jay got sick and rested through, but Tai Chi, who's scheduled for the main event against Jay White tonight, thinks that Jay White was just faking it so that he could rest up for this match tonight. Before the main event, there's also 2 straight D block matches with only 3 events left in block action counting tonight. D block has the wild chance of a 7-way tie still at the end. So can we get through this night and have only 3 matches left to potentially still have a 7-way tie? We'll have to find out, as everyone would have to finish 3-3. So the moment somebody gets their fourth win or loss in D block, that odds are over for the 7-way tie. So let's just get right into it. Again, this is night 16 on August 13th, and we're in Tokyo. David Finlay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jado, and Tama Tonga are going to start out the match action here against Bullet Club's Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and El Phantasmo, also with Juice Robinson. So kicking off the night in all-star action here as in Hantai Force takes on Bullet Club. Juice Robinson and ELP are both still alive in that crazy D block and have their sights set on different competition tonight. Tanahashi, Tama Tonga, and David Finlay are all 3 still alive in their respective blocks, all being in different blocks. We start this evening, night 16, the G1 Climax 32, by hearing the new version of the Bullet Club theme. And wow, it's very, very bright in this building. I thought I was going to get used to it, but I really never got used to how bright this building was. It's almost as if we're outside. I do like the wood paneling on the crowd, and the crowds are kind of has a buzz to them, despite them not being able to talk or use their mouths for any shouting, with this being the first event in over 3 years. So Fale is already saying he wants a drink, and this is when we find out it's about 120 degrees and humid inside this building with a monsoon outside the building as we speak. Which is ridiculous. So anyway, the Hantai unit now comes out to Tanahashi's music. Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, and Jado lead the way out, with Finlay looking fired up with his shillelagh. We'll get to hear Finlay on commentary later on, as he'll get to watch up close and personal 2 block matches from his D block later on. Tanahashi says hi to all the fans since this is the first time they're back in over 3 years. He flanks the group here, and I hope this is just a regular match without too much of the Bullet Club antics, because I'm hyped for the return of G1 after these couple days off. And then we got the 3 shows not in a row, but the last 3 block events. Let's get this event started off good. So of course, Bullet Club jump before the bell rings and an 8-man brawl breaks out. In the ring, Chase and Juice try to double team Finlay, and there's a bunch of people in this building, and man, it is bright, but there is a good crowd tonight. Finlay takes out Chase and takes control over his former Juice, fighting out of that double team. Finlay then tags in Tanahashi. They hit a double back elbow and a double elbow drop on Juice. Tanahashi then plays air guitar while Finlay plays air drums. I'm guessing Juice was supposed to be over there playing bass, but he left to join Bullet Club. Juice then throws Tanahashi over the top rope. Tanahashi tries to skin the cat, getting the back in, but Bullet Club from the outside attack him. Another big brawl breaks out, or maybe it never even stopped from the begin with. It looks like Tama Tonga's already in a little bit of trouble here, as Bullet Club will really want to injure Tama Tonga tonight ahead of his big match on the final block night against Jay White. ELP now tags in, and he does about 5 cartwheels to do a back rake. He tags in Fale, who talks trash to the Hantai corner, then rakes the back of Tanahashi as well. The crowd's now getting loud for Tanahashi to fight back, and there is really good sound in this building, but like I said, it is very bright. Juice now tags in and hits a top rope back rake on Tanahashi, then a normal back rake right after that. Finlay's now pounding on the mat, risking again. If you heard my last review, he pounds the mat a lot, and it always makes me think of Randy Orton when he tore his shoulder pounding the mat. So I'm always thinking Finlay's risking wrist injuries here with this. But anyway, it is successful in getting the crowd louder, which does fire up Tanahashi here. Tanahashi gets a boot up on Chase, who's the legal man now, to counter a move. Then Tanahashi lifts the shirt of Chase up to hit a bunch of back rakes in a row. Tanahashi hits a sling blade and then tags in Tonga, who comes in with his really good. He's got some of the best hot tag and quick offense in the entire company right now. Tonga takes out everyone, including Fale, with a drop kick on the apron. Tama takes his shirt off. The crowd gets super loud now as Tama hits a corner splash on Chase Owens. Jado now tags in, and the Gorillas of Destiny double team Chase. Jado's looking for a green killer draping DDT here, but ELP comes in to stop it. Fale also comes in and hits a goozle on Jado, but Finlay comes in to double team Fale. Everyone now gets in, and everyone basically gets knocked out until it's just the two legal men. Jado gets a 2 count on a roll-up on Chase right after all that commotion, but Chase simply hits 2 C-trigger knee strikes in a row on Jado to get the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall are Bullet Club. So this was a fine match. I was hoping for a little bit more, but again, we got to see Tama Tonga showing that he's got some of the best fast-paced offense in New Japan, and I really think Tama is destined to go on a run all the way to the finals, probably where he'll lose to Okada, but beat Jay along the way to the finals. At that, I've been thinking that Tama Tonga was going to go to the finals, lose, but on the way beat Jay, and it'll set him up for a big event. Title match before Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know what event it would be, but some kind of title shot, Jay White and Tama Tonga before Wrestle Kingdom. I think Tama Tonga will win that match against Jay White on Tuesday, but I definitely can't wait for it. Anyway, we now see that Kanemaru is on Japanese commentary tonight, and that actually comes into play later on. I didn't think it would, but it does. Anyway, Chase turns his microphone off. That's the only reason we saw Kanemaru here, because Chase Owens turns his microphone off as he leaves, and I never even got used to how bright it was through this entire match. But yeah, by the time it's the league matches, I'm used to the brightness, and it is a unique look and stands out. So in our second match here, it'll be TMDK's K9 Connection, Bad Dude Tito, and JONAH taking on Team Filthy, who have all burst into the Japanese NJPW scene during this tour and have undoubtedly left a significant mark on the landscape. Not only have Tom Lawlor and especially JONAH impressed in A-block action, but Royce Isaacs and Bad Dude Tito have fought hard in tag team action, impressing a lot of people as well. TMDK hold a 2-1 lead over Team Filthy to date in these matches. So will the dude and the dog assume strong faction superiority here, or will Team Filthy draw even with the score? Team Filthy comes out first with the big claps from the crowd. The crowd has really fallen in love with Team Filthy and Filthy Tom Lawlor, who's on his first ever trip to Japan. I mean, they have been impressed with Royce Isaacs as well, but Royce has been in Japan before with Pro Wrestling Noah. So, wow, we're also told that tonight on New Japan Strong, which you can catch that review in about, I don't know, 15 hours from now, it'll be Shane Haste from TMDK taking on Jarrell Nelson from Team Filthy. So that's pretty cool to have on New Japan Strong. The rivalry spill over there between TMDK and Team Filthy that's been brewing all tour long. These guys have been fighting all tour long. So Jarrell Nelson is Royce Isaacs' normal tag team partner. Their team name is called West Coast Wrecking Crew, and they're part of Team Filthy. So JONAH and Bad Dude Tito come out next. It's TMDK's K9 Connection. Again, both of these teams will be looking for a big win on this tour to maybe get invited to the World Tag League later on this year. Team Filthy finally got their first tag win over someone on the roster. It was against Suzuki-gun, Zack Sabre Jr., and TAKA Michinoku. but K9 Connection have also won a few over other people on the roster, including matches against Team Filthy. So Royce Isaacs starts this match out with JONAH and applies a headlock on the big man, but JONAH uses his size and power advantage to get out. Royce then hits a nice jumping knee strike. JONAH blocks being lifted up. So does Royce right after that, and then both tag out, kind of being even. That was a pretty good exchange to start this match. Tom and Tito now come in. The crowd's doing the filthy clap as Tito gets a waist lock applied. Tom counters, applying a head scissors, and then Tom uses Tito, I should say, uses his size advantage to get up. But Tom never loses wrist control, and then Tito strikes his way out. Tom tries to find a new body part, but eventually gets wrist control again after some really nice counter wrestling from both men as Tom was looking for a body part. Tom then kicks the leg out from Tito as he has that wrist control, and then tags in Royce, who charges in, knocking JONAH right off the apron. Team Filthy then hit a double team, and Royce hits a gut wrench suplex as they both do the Filthy pose here. Tito's able to fight back after that little break while they're doing the Filthy pose. Royce knocks him right back down. Tito's now trapped in the Filthy corner, and Tom tags in, hyperextending the arm of Tito. The announcers say it's about 1,000 degrees in the building and that it might start raining inside because it's such a monsoon outside, which is nuts. Anyway, Tom then tags in, and they take it to the mat here. Tom transitions from a Fujiwara armbar to the Rings of Saturn, and then he's really getting a hold on, stretching out Tito here, but JONAH pulls them both out of the ring to break the hold. They K9 Connection double team Tom outside the ring. Now back in, Tito takes control in the ring with some strikes as the crowd does the Filthy Tom clap. Tom is trapped in the TMDK corner now, and JONAH tags in, hitting a nasty chest chop that knocks Tom right to the mat. Tom gets fighting back, but JONAH knocks him right back down. When Tom does get up, he gets splashed and crushed right into the corner with a corner splash from JONAH. Tito now tags in. He jumps into the ring with a slingshot attack and then hits a snap suplex on Tom for a 2 count. Tom now fights back, getting a guillotine applied, but Tito's able to hit a nice suplex to get out of this hold. Really good match here. Tito's now so dazed from that guillotine that he goes to the wrong corner trying to tag out. And this means he's now stuck in the ring with Tom, who takes out JONAH on the apron, then tags in Royce. Tito and Royce have a nice striking exchange now, but Tito's too weakened from that guillotine still. Royce takes control, hits another attack in the corner, ending with the corner lariat. Royce then hits a deadlift German suplex on Tito for a 2 count, and the crowd is 100% behind Team Filthy. Tito's able to battle back now with nasty forearms and elbow strikes. Royce kicks out at 2 and hits a pop-up knee strike of his own. Royce deadlifts the big Tito up with ease for a slam, then hits a penalty kick as well. JONAH now rushes in. He takes out Tom, and Royce lifts JONAH up a little bit here, but JONAH is able to block that. Then JONAH tags in. Tito dives from the outside onto Tom, and JONAH hits the Black Force power bomb on Royce Isaacs for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, TMDK's K9 Connection, and JONAH is still yet to be pinned or submitted this entire tour, including the league matches. It's only those 2 count-out losses in block action that JONAH has, keeping them from leading the block right now. But K9 Connection also making a really good case for them to have 2 TMDK teams enter World Tag League this year alongside Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols of TMDK. So that was a really good tag match. I probably would have opened the card with that match. Then we could have got into some of the other stuff, but it is what it is. Really good match here, and all the tag matches on this tour, the 2-on-2 tag matches, pretty much almost regardless of who's in them, have been delivering this whole tour. It's when we get the 6 and 8 and 10 man tags that it's a little bit silly. So anyway, we got ready for those multi-man tag matches, because we got 6-man tag match next. In the third match, it'll be Suzuki-gun represented by Lance Archer, TAKA Michinoku, and Zack Sabre Jr., taking on Los Ingobernables de Japon, BUSHI, SANADA, and Tetsuya Naito. So while Naito's G1 hopes are, SANADA, I'm sorry, SANADA's G1 hopes are over, Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., and Lance Archer in this match are all still in the hunt going into Tuesday night, with Sabre and Naito set the face off in their last C block match on Tuesday. Key preview here of that. So Archer now storms out and takes out 2 young lions on his way to the ring. Zack Sabre Jr. and TAKA laugh at this, even though Zack just seemed to be friends with Fujita, the young lion, who helped him trick Dick Togo and Evil, with Fujita dressed up as Zack Sabre Jr. in the last league match where Zack Sabre Jr. won in 44 seconds over Evil. So he doesn't seem to mind that Archer beating up Fujita here. So Bushi then makes his entrance, followed by SANADA and then Naito. As Shingo will have, he doesn't join them here, as Shingo has a big D block match later tonight against Yujiro Takahashi. So the crowd tonight is absolutely in love with Naito, very loud when he comes out. And then the announcers mentioned the heat again. So keep that in mind when we get to the league matches, how hot it is. It's like everyone's wrestling in a sauna right now with a monsoon outside. It's like 1,000% humidity along with the heat. So Naito will start this match against Zack Sabre Jr. in a preview of their match Tuesday, with Zack Sabre Jr. leading the block. So Naito takes down Zack, but Zack pulls the nose of Naito to get out. They reset. Naito gets a headlock applied. Zack reverses into one of his own, then avoids any big kicks here. Then they go for an arm drag at the exact same time. That was really cool. They just fall to the mat after that. Zack wants to shake hands after that one, but then of course it's a sneak attack on Naito. But Naito was expecting it, so he catches the attack, then tries for combination cabron, but Zack Sabre Jr. blocks it. Naito then hits a neck breaker right after that and tags in Bushi. Good little preview. I think we get to see them in the ring again. Can't wait for that match on Tuesday. So Bushi comes in and avoids Zack. Zack avoids Bushi's corner attack, but Bushi gets up to the top rope anyway. But now Archer runs in and throws Bushi off the top rope to the mat. Archer just stays in. Maybe I missed the tag. I think Archer tagged in. So on the outside now, Zack takes out Naito on the barricade here. We don't see what body part he targets, but we know that Naito just got taken out. Archer then double teams Bushi with Taka Michinoku, who has now tagged in. Bushi fights out of this, but Taka pokes his eyes and then tags in Archer. Bushi's in big trouble now as Archer throws him all the way across the ring with a giant suplex. That was wild. Archer then hits a nasty overhand chop that just engulfs Bushi's chest, then tags in Zack Sabre Jr., who works over a cravat on Bushi's neck. Zack grapevines the leg to take him down, but Bushi's able to strike out. Zack then takes him right back down and cranks the neck of Bushi. Archer now tags in, hitting a big cornerback elbow, but Bushi counters that next move and hits a drop kick to Archer's knee. This takes Archer down, but he's able to stop Bushi from tagging out. Bushi again counters Archer and is able to tag in SANADA. SANADA comes in, hitting two great flip drop kicks on Archer, who does not go down. SANADA tries a springboard attack instead, but Archer catches him with a goozle. SANADA counters this and is in the suplex, counters a suplex attempt from Archer, hitting a snap suplex of his own. Then Archer blocks the TKO attempt. Really good stuff between SANADA and Archer, who were in TNA together. So they've known each other a long time. Archer then crushes SANADA with a running crossbody slash splash hybrid. It's kind of a running crossbody splash. Really good stuff from Archer. He's been hitting a lot of those on this tour. SANADA got crushed with that. Now Taka Michinoku tags in, but SANADA counters a bicycle kick from Taka into a pin for only a 2 count. Taka then counters that bridge pin for applying just face lock, the cross face here. Naito then slams Zack into the barricade on the outside and is able to come in the save SANADA from the just face lock. Zack then comes into the ring, takes out Naito right away after getting slammed, and they fight on the outside with Zack now attacking the arm of Naito. Archer then back in the ring, misses slamming Taka onto the guy here, but Bushi then dives to the outside on the Archer. SANADA locks in the skull end on Taka, who taps out. So the winners of this match by pinfall, LIJ and Zack and Naito then immediately sit on the apron, have a long conversation here. It transitions from English to Japanese to Spanish, but I'm not. Basically, Zack was doing this before, just the fake being friends or whatever. So they were just saying a bunch of nothing. But Zack says that Naito's going down eventually, and Naito does the tranquilo pose, and Zack just leaves talking trash to the fans. So that match is going to be really good on Tuesday. This match was fine. I liked all the stuff with Archer. Bushi been showing some good stuff throughout this entire tournament. And then, of course, we saw Zack Sabre Jr. block combination cabron, so we'll have to see if on Tuesday if Naito can hit that or if Zack counters it again. maybe he counters it into a hold this time, like even more than this time. He just kind of blocked it. So we've got our last tag match before the block matches start. It'll be 6-man tag action. Chaos represented by Hirooki Goto, Kazuchika Okada, and Tomohiro Ishii, taking on House of Torture here, Dick Togo, Evil, and Sho, with Yujiro in a league match later on. So Chaos take on House of Torture here after Wednesday's main event in Hiroshima. Goto is still alive and apparently did not break his jaw, which is good news because we thought he might have after all the blood coming out of his mouth in that main event in Hiroshima. So Zack Goto's still alive and in strong shape if he can take down Evil, who's already out of the running. Zack Sabre Jr. Took out Evil with that trickeration with Fujita. So these results mean they're at Tuesday is critical match in C block, and this will preview that big match with Goto and Evil. So House of Torture come out to complete silence from the crowd, but Sho and Togo do get a few claps during their introduction, not one clap from the crowd for Evil when he gets his. Okada's music now hits as Ishii leads out the Chaos team here. Then Goto comes out and Okada. So everyone's looking focused for this match. House of Torture will be more worried about Yujiro's black match later on, but they won't missed an opportunity here potentially to injure one of the favorites to win the tournament, Okada. So House of Torture, of course, jump Chaos before the match starts, and then they have a triple team on Okada in the ring. Shows holding on to the referees so that Evil and Togo can try a double team, but Okada counters them, hitting eventually DDTs on all three House of Torture members. The crowd goes absolutely wild for this one, and Goto now tags in. And he definitely was lucky to not break his jaw. He looks all right for this one. Probably still very sore, but not in a situation where he has to miss any matches. Dick Togo now exposes the turnbuckle in their corner, and Evil throws Goto into it, then attacks the leg a little bit of Goto. Dick Togo now tags in, and Sho tags in as well. They hit a double team targeting Goto's arm. Togo then tags in for another double team, and they get Togo gets wrist control and hits strikes in the back while Togo switches to an armbar and tags in Evil. Okada now comes in, but Evil throws him right out, and then Togo hits some more cheap shots while the referee's distracted. Goto kicks out at 2, but the Evil's now paintbrushing his head with the tip of his boot. This fires up Goto, who hits some big chops on Evil. Goto then charges or evades a charging Evil and hits a Russian leg sweep out of that. Ishii now tags in and he fights off a Sho Togo double team, slamming Sho down hard and then getting Togo out of the ring as well. Sho attacks the fingers to get out of the next tack, and then Okada runs back in. Sho grabs his fingers as well, and then the block and move Togo comes in so that they can Sho is able to hit a big knee strike on Okada here, which was surprising. That sent Okada right out of the ring. Ishii's the legal man, and he goes after Sho, but House of Torture cheat to take control yet again. Togo now tags in, hitting kicks on Ishii, but that fires up Ishii here, who Evil comes in. They try to double team, and Evil hits the double team is successful on the fired up Ishii. Evil then hits a Fisherman's Buster. Togo makes the cover, but only is able to get a 2 count. Goto now runs in and hits the Ushigoroshi on Evil. Then Sho gets taken out, but with Okada hits a flapjack on Togo, and Ishii gets a vertical drop brain buster on Dick Togo right after that flurry for the 1-2-3. So the winners of this match by pinfall are Chaos. So that's interesting. And then decent match here. But Kevin Kelly on commentary makes a pretty good point that are we about to see Ishii's final G1 match? It could be Ishii's final year in G1. I'm not quite sure if what my feelings even are about that. I guess it would all depend on how many people are going to be interested in or how many people are going to be entering and stuff like that. I would much rather have Ishii than Yano, that's for sure. But it does make a good point. So we'll have to think about that when we watch Ishii take on SANADA on Tuesday. We might have to keep in mind that is Ishii's potentially his final G1 match. So Okada thanks the fans here, and we go to an intermission. And I guess I'm kind of used to the brightness of the building by now, and it is a pretty cool venue for a big show. So we've got 5 league matches coming up tonight here, then 4 tomorrow in Nagano. And then a triple header starts this Tuesday at the Nippon Budokan with 8 league matches on Tuesday. Wednesday's the semifinals and any of the playoff matches that might need to be held. And then Thursday is the G1 finals, where I'm sure we'll also get a few surprises and returns at the G1 final event. So it's going to be a great couple of days here. And we've got David Finlay also coming out to be color commentator, not color commentator, but a third commentator tonight, because Chris is on color commentary for live translations, although we didn't need much translated tonight. But that should be good with Finlay coming out. So let's get into it. We start with our first block match in C block. Both men are eliminated, but this is a really intriguing matchups with a great styles clash. So it'll be Kenta taking on Aaron Hanare in C block. Hanare comes in at 1-4, Kenta 1-3. So they're both like out of the running here in C block, with Zack Sabre Jr. at 4-1 at this point. So they're both mathematically out, but looking for a good end to their match, especially Hanare, who's still in his debut G1. He wants to make sure he can get invited back next year. So after a hard-hitting banger with Zack Sabre Jr., the starters campaign, Kenta went on to pretty much not have a good G1. And then we all know that Hanare basically had his whole G1 ruined by Zack Sabre Jr., who attacked his Achilles tendon. So I'm really looking forward to this match. Two of my favorites are currently in New Japan. And I also loved that Hanare Zack Sabre Jr. match, which was a great styles clash earlier in this G1. So probably my most underrated match or surprise best match, unless you want to count if you weren't expecting JONAH to have a good match against Okada, that might be your surprise good match. But for me, it was how much I loved Hanare Zack Sabre Jr. So I was hoping this one could live up to that one, and it should be good. So Hanare did call out Kenta in the backstage comments, saying that he returned as Hideo Itami and that Hanare wants to fight the real Kenta in this match. So Kenta comes out first looking confident despite his record, but he has gotten his book to a second printing with all the promos he's been doing in the backstage comments. So I guess that's a win in Kenta's book. No pun intended. But yeah, I definitely agree with what Hanare said. Kenta leaving Bullet Club and doing better matches on his own would be favorable to what Kenta's doing right now. But at least Kenta's really hilarious in his backstage comments. So Finlay's out for commentary. All I'll say is that Tom Lawlor and Lance Archer, neither of them sounded very confident on their first time either. And then they did it a second time and were way more relaxed. So also Finlay had to deal with being a third person in the booth. It wasn't just him and Kevin by themselves. But Finlay didn't add a ton. He did start warming up towards the end of the night, towards the other matches, especially when it was in people in his block. But still, not. I would say don't blast the kid. He even Tom Lawlor and Lance Archer weren't very good on their first one. Then they were great on their second tries. So let's get into this match. Hanare then comes out, of course, second, and then this is going to be a good one. So we actually started out with a kickboxing match here, which was awesome. Hanare misses a huge few. He tries a couple of big roundhouse kicks, but Kenta's able to use his speed to evade those. Hanare having the huge size and strength advantage in this match. Hanare then hits two big body punches while they're doing some kickboxing here, and those were stinging Kenta enough for Kenta to leave the ring immediately. Then they get back in. They're going to try some kickboxing again, but Kenta grabs the eyes. Damn, I wanted more kickboxing, and we really never go back to that ever again in this match. I could have definitely watched another minute of that. But anyway, Hanare kicks or does a springboard kick to Kenta's face right after that, then looks for another roundhouse kick, but Kenta had already left out of the ring. Hanare quickly rolls out after him with some big strikes. Hanare then plays with fire here, hitting two kicks on Kenta, who was up against the ring post. And of course, on the third one, Kenta ducks under. Hanare kicks the ring post hard. So Kenta goes on the attack now with a big kick on the outside of the ring. Hanare's holding on to his leg, which really never fully recovered from the Zack Sabre Jr. match. And now Kenta, of course, he's attacking that Achilles, the surgically repaired Achilles that Zack Sabre Jr. re-injured in his match. And that's basically what cost Hanare to ever, he lost every match since then. Excuse me. So Kenta wraps the Achilles now across the barricade and kicks the barricade hard. Back in the ring, Kenta's applying a heel hook now, attacking the Achilles tendon of Hanare. So Hanari had been begging everyone ever since the Zack Sabre Jr. match to not attack his weakened Achilles. Nobody ever did. Meanwhile, that entire time, Hanari was kind of spitting in the face of karma while adding the heel hook to his own arsenal. So now, when this is the one time since then, Hanari didn't ask Kenta to not attack his Achilles. Maybe he just figured he always knew Kenta was going to do it anyway. But here we are, and here's the guy he didn't ask, and now he's attacking the Achilles. Kenta's been in full control for a few minutes now, attacking the leg even further. Hanari is able to get control and hit some nasty sounding kicks with his good leg. Hanari then hits a step up knee and a big slam for total control now. Kenta won't able to be taking too many big shots from the giant, massive, powerful Hanari. So Hanari then crushes Kenta with a middle rope senton right after that. Kenta's just barely able to kick out, but is in a little bit trouble now. Hanari does have a very damaged Achilles leg, foot, heel area as well. Kenta counters the next attack, hitting a DDT, and Hanari, we notice, is now breathing super heavy. So don't forget, it was like they said 1,000 degrees in that gym with 1,000% humidity because it was a monsoon outside. So Kenta is breathing just fine, and Hanari has packed on the pounds for this match, for this whole G1 tournament, is now breathing big time heavy. So I'm sure that will decide this match at this point. Kenta now hits the green killer draping DDT. That just fires up and quickens the pace, now hitting a double stomp off the top rope as well. Hanari's just barely able to kick out at 2. Hanari hits a few strikes, but Kenta fights back. Hanari tries to hit a berserker bomb here, but Kenta basically falls out of the move and lands worse than what it would have been. That was a little scary there. Hanari then goes for the ultimate weapon, full Nelson, noticing that Hanari is already drained his entire stamina reserves. So Hanari's looking to end it here with the full Nelson, but Kenta wraps his legs around the waist of the referee to somehow not get disqualified and block the move at the same time. Hanari then blocks a GTS attempt right after that, and both men hit big forearms. Kenta will look to not want to exchange forearms here. Kenta absorbs a few of them while waiting for the perfect chance to unload a couple nasty palm strikes here. Hanari stays on his feet, though, and he knocks Kenta down with a few massive strikes. Hanari wants to end it here with his stamina being low, but Kenta is able to block the Streets of Rage attempt after going after the nose of Hanari. Hanari is able to block a game over attempt, but Kenta applies a triangle choke now. Hanari is able to power out still, and he's able to slam Kenta hard to the mat. Kenta will not survive too many more of those slams, but Hanari is completely out of stamina at this point. Hanari charges in with a last desperate attempt, but Kenta easily counters it with applying the game over. Hanari has zero stamina left to power out of this move and is forced to tap out. The winner of this match by submission, Kenta. So wow, really love this match. This is my match of the night probably. They really told a great story. I would have liked a little bit of a couple more minutes of the kickboxing, but everything else was really great, even though I didn't get the more kickboxing. At the end of the day, Kenta's game plan was simple: outlast and outwear Hanari while also attacking his one weak point that he has, the Achilles tendon. It was a game plan that was going to work 100% of the time, and Hanari has a few noticeable holes in his game. So he'll definitely work to cover that up. Unfortunately, the Achilles will never truly heal, but Hanari added weight going into this G1 looking for more power. Now he'll know that he'll want to slim down for the next G1. Yes, he added the power, but the veteran Kenta here was always going to win this match in the 120-degree heat, in the 1,000-degree humidity. So good stuff. Hanari will know for next year to slim down, and Kenta getting a win here to get his second win. So both men were already eliminated, but putting on a really good match here. Now we go to a comedy match, if that's your thing. Not really mine, especially in the middle of a G1. But we're in A block action, where, of course, when you hear comedy match, you know it's Toru Yano involved, and he takes on Jeff Cobb. Toru Yano's already been eliminated at 1-4. Cobb must win this match, being at 2-2, to keep pace with the rest of the threesome in A block. Archer, JONAH, and Okada. So with defeats to Okada and JONAH, Jeff Cobb has gone from a group of dominance in 2021 to finding himself extremely on the bubble here in 2022. So with no control over Jeff Cobb's own fate, he's going to have to hope for a miracle for a multi-man tie here. with Okada and Lance Archer to create a playoff match at the Budokan. So there's no doubt that he'll be looking to get into that match here with a big win over Yano. We have heard in the Yano saying that Cobb saying that he wants to show Yano he can do funny too. So I was worried about this match. So this should be interesting. Hopefully it's short. New Japan will definitely want to not keep the fans in this big heat for too long tonight. So we could see a short one here. Jeff Cobb now comes out cosplaying as Yano. He's got a chair. He's got a DVD. Cobb tells the referee to do the long DVD and T-shirt introductions like Yano normally has. Cobb does a pretty good job here. He's yelling like Yano too. And like I said, he's been telling Yano he can do funny as well. So now Toru Yano's music hits, but Yano does not show up. The music plays for a while. The ring announcer and Jeff Cobb look confused here. A full minute passes with Yano's music playing, but no Yano. So someone had to have checked the rule book, and they ring the bell, even though Yano's not here. So the referee starts a 20 count. If Yano doesn't appear, he'll be counted out. We're up to 7, still no Yano, but by the time we hit 8, we see that Yano's in the crowd, sneaking up from behind. He rolls up Cobb, only for a 2 count though. Then Yano sprays disinfectant in the Cobb's eyes, getting only another 2 count. The fight now spills out to the outside. Cobb reverses an Irish whip, sending Yano into the barricade, but Jeff Cobb is still blinded from the disinfectant. So Yano hits a Manhattan drop, then rolls Jeff Cobb up like a burrito in the ring apron curtain. So Cobb struggles his best to get out of this burrito ring apron curtain thing. But the young lion, Oiwa, maybe it was Fujita, couldn't tell with the mask, but they are able to get Jeff Cobb out just with 2 seconds to spare, 18 seconds on the 20 count. Yano now traps Cobb's arm inside of his own singlet, and Jeff Cobb now has to fight like Orange Cassidy. And Jeff Cobb face plants himself, hitting a drop kick with his arms in his singlet. Jeff Cobb then, the referee has to help Jeff Cobb get his arms out of his singlet. Cobb then hits an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Cobb then pulls Yano's shirt over Yano's head and gives Yano the tour of the islands for the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Jeff Cobb. Yano, who's already been eliminated and done with his G1 now with a final record of 1-5. Hopefully that was Yano's last ever G1. However, I doubt it. They use Yano to get the wins and losses they need to get to the winner they want in the block. Since Yano can lose or win any given match through his cheating, he's the person they use in whatever block he's in to even out whatever the final standings they want are. So I'm sure Yano will be there for a while still, unfortunately. Anyway, Jeff Cobb is just barely alive at 3-2, and he's hoping for a multi-tie at 4-2. He'll still have to win his next match and hope that nobody goes 5-1. Which I think Okada can still do that. So he's going to hope for Archer to lose. So now we've got 2 D block matches in a row in the D block where it's still coming into tonight. There was still an opportunity for a 7-way tie. Everybody at 3-3 at the end. So this match is going to be the first of 2 in a row from D block. And we've got David Finlay, who was the D block early leader, on commentary as well, watching these matches. Yujiro Takahashi takes on Shingo Takagi in this first one. Shingo is through 2-2 coming into this match, and Yujiro can spoil the chances of a 7-way tie with a win tonight because Yujiro Takahashi comes into this match at 3-2. The singles record between these two is 3 wins for Shingo, 0 for Yujiro, and a draw. So Shingo must win this match. Otherwise, Yujiro will be too far ahead of him, and Shingo will be eliminated. So this is a must-win coming into the match for Shingo. Meanwhile, Yujiro will not be eliminated with a loss, but if Yujiro loses this match, he'll have to hope for that 7-way tie. So this is going to be another big match here. Yujiro comes out with Peter, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see Sho or Dick Togo at some point in this match. Shingo has to know that as well, must have a plan. He's had over a month to know that he's facing a House of Torture member here. So let's see what Shingo's come up with. Meanwhile, House of Torture is going to counter his best idea. They'll have thought of some kind of plan too. So it's been made clear that if Shingo would clearly win this match in a fair fight, so Yujiro is going to have to use the help. Shingo comes out with 2 matches remaining now. Shingo takes on ELP on the final day, and Will Ospreay takes on Juice on that final night as well on Tuesday. So we've got another D block right after this one with Yoshihashi taking on Ospreay as well. Right after this match, both of those guys are at 2-2. So if Yujiro wins this match, that match later on turns into an elimination match. But if Shingo wins, everything's still wide open. So Shingo starts out strong, quickening the pace right away, hitting a vertical suplex. Yujiro then rolls out of the ring immediately here, and Shingo quickly follows him out and hits Yujiro into the barricade and the apron. Terrible start here for Yujiro. Peter's able to get in the way and dances between the two men, but Shingo does not fall for this sneak attack, instead sneaking in a punch on Yujiro before Yujiro was expecting it. So Shingo now throws Yujiro back first into the apron and barricade a little bit more, then rolls Yujiro right into the ring, but Yujiro rolls out the other side, gets a chair, and sneaks a chair shot on Shingo. Referee didn't see it or didn't care because it wasn't in the ring. Excuse me. Yujiro then hits a reverse DDT on the mat on the outside of the ring, which can really rock somebody. Shingo got rocked by that one. That turns things big time in Yujiro's favor. Shingo's having trouble getting up here, but he fires up and rushes into an attack from Yujiro. Shingo kicks out at 1, showing he's got a ton of fight left in him in this match. Yujiro hits a bunch of closed fist punches now. The referee yells, but he just allows it. No 5 count or nothing. Yujiro then attacks in the corner, rakes the face, and hits a haluva kick. Yujiro follows that with 3 standing elbow drops for a 2 count, getting a 2 count this time instead of a 1. Yujiro then hits some more forearms, but Shingo fires up, hitting a nasty chop here. Yujiro then slows the momentum back down to his pace, but Shingo bites. Yujiro bites the hand, but Shingo bites him right back. So there's the game plan right there. Fight fire with fire. Shingo now takes a moment to recover and then hits a shoulder tackle, scoop slam, senton combo all in a row. Yujiro hits some back elbows to block the next attack, but Shingo counters with a nasty snap suplex. Shingo fires up the crowd, who gets super loud here. They're 100% in support of Shingo Takagi. Now, we hear that Sho hits his wrench across the barricade. Here we go. Sho is now on the apron. Shingo's distracted. Yujiro hits an Olympic slam, followed by Miami Shine, but Shingo's able to kick out at 2, but is now hurt. Yujiro's looking for pimp juice now, but Shingo blocks it, hitting some headbutts to the chest. Sho then destroys Shingo with a chair, and Shingo hits elbow strikes as we reach the 10-minute mark. So back and forth here with a lot of cheating, helping Yujiro out. The Sho now hits Shingo with the wrench, but Shingo's just barely able to kick out again. So that was almost the end of the match and almost the end of the 7-way tie chance. Shingo then fakes a strike and hits a DDT. He's still in this one. Shingo follows with a nasty strike to the back of Yujiro's neck immediately after the DDT. Yujiro's super dazed from that strike. It reminded me of almost like a hidden blade type maneuver. Shingo then hits a nasty looking Made in Japan, and somehow Yujiro isn't knocked unconscious, able to kick out. But Yujiro can't get up. He was definitely rocked from that Made in Japan. But Yujiro is able to block the last of the dragon attempt, and then Shingo gets kicked out of the ring here. Yujiro throws him into the barricade, but Yujiro can barely stand after that Made in Japan. Shingo then hits some strikes, but Yujiro's able to reverse, hitting Shingo again into the barricade. The referee's now starting his 20 count. Shingo blocks a pimp juice attempt, but Yujiro hits a thrust kick. Then Yujiro hits a fisherman's buster on the outside, and then before Shingo goes down, he's able to slam Yujiro down as well. So Shingo rolls in at 18, and Sho is able to throw Yujiro in at a count of 19 before he got counted out. So Yujiro now bites his way out of another Last of the Dragon attempt. The referee gets knocked down. Yujiro hits a reverse DDT on Shingo, then grabs a chair and just absolutely blasts Shingo on the back of the head and neck with the chair. But Shingo just gets so mad. One of the best flurries in the entire G1 happens next. Shingo gets so mad from this chair shot that he punches the chair hard in the Yujiro's face. Shingo throws the chair in Sho's face and then destroys Yujiro with a bomber lariat, then hits the Last of the Dragon, getting the 1, 2, 3. So the winner of this match by pinfall, Shingo Takagi. And holy crap, That was one of the best ending flurries of all of G1. From the very moment Shingo got hit with that chair hard in the back of the head, he went into berserk dragon mode and just went wild to win the match. So the doctors are actually looking at Shingo's head here after that nasty chair shot. He might have to get a few stitches and he'll have a hell of a headache, but he's got a huge match to prepare for Tuesday night with everything on the line against El Phantasmo, who El Phantasmo's kind of been off and on feuding with this entire G1 by eating cheeseburgers because Shingo said that he wasn't going to make it in as a heavyweight, just like Shingo was able to do it. So we stay in D block action next, as everything's still alive for the 7-way tie, with Yujiro avoiding getting his 4th loss, going to 3-3. So he finishes. Shingo, like I said, is at 3-2 now. He'll take on El Phantasmo on Tuesday. But now we've got Yoshihashi taking on Will Ospreay. Both men come into this match at 2-2, and both won't be eliminated with a loss, but they'll definitely want to get the big win here. So definitely Will Ospreay didn't think he was going to be in this situation, but here he is. And Yoshihashi has been impressive, but now comes into this match severely taped up shoulder. So with 3-2, David Finlay taking on Yoshihashi tomorrow, Yoshi would have to win that match to keep everyone with the 3-3 tie that I know me and a lot of other fans want the 7-way tie, just to see what kind of madness would come from it. So for that to happen, Yujiro would have to win tomorrow night against David Finlay, and Yujiro would have to lose. Not Yujiro, but Yoshihashi. Sorry, Yoshihashi would have to lose to Yoshihashi would have to beat David Finlay tomorrow and lose tonight to Will Ospreay for that to happen. So then we would also have ELP would have to beat Shingo, and Juice would have to beat Will Ospreay for the 7-way tie to happen. So like I said, Yoshihashi now comes out with his shoulder all taped up. Ospreay comes out next, and he's staring down Finlay on commentary. Finlay beat Will Ospreay, ruined his big moment of finally getting his hands on his U.S. title for the first time. And then Will Ospreay says that he will not wear the U.S. title around his waist until he beats Finlay in a title match, after Finlay beat him earlier in the G1. Yoshihashi has that taped up shoulder, and then hits a shoulder tackle right away, but Will Ospreay nips right up, hitting a big chop to Yoshihashi, but that's a mistake because Yoshihashi has some of the hardest chops in all of the world. Yoshi then hits a few chops, takes control with some more strikes and chops, then blocks the move here and hits a nasty Yakuza kick running at 100 miles an hour. That was Will, actually. Will then, after those chops, blocks a move, hits one of those nasty running 1,000 miles an hour big boots to the face. That was awesome. Then Ospreay slams Yoshihashi hard into the corner, right on that bad shoulder, first thing to hit the corner. Yoshi's now screaming in pain. Yoshihashi's screaming in pain. Will drops a knee right onto that shoulder. Will then slams the shoulder into the ring post. Yoshihashi's just screaming screaming so loud here. And then this looks rough for Yoshihashi at this point. Every move he gets hit with or does an offensive move is going to shoot pain through his entire body. So back in the ring now, Yoshihashi hits some weak looking strikes, and then Will hyperextends the arm of Yoshi across his shoulder. Will applies a nasty looking hold, stretching the shoulder back hard, as we're only into the 5-minute mark of this semifinal match. This match is almost over already with the shoulder damage to Yoshihashi, but Will keeps the pace steady and transitions into different holds on the arm. Yoshihashi's yelling out and complaining, completely silent building here. It's really kind of awkward. Ospreay keeps control with some big strikes as Yoshi eats. Yoshi then counters a suplex with a neck breaker. Finally, Yoshi desperately needed a little bit of time, anything to recover here. Yoshi then hits a back elbow and a shoulder tackle with a drop kick and a knee to the head. Drop kick to the knee right after that, followed by a blockbuster, headbuster block. So after that little flurry, Yoshihashi realizes that the mistake he just made, or at least the pain that every offensive move also is going to cost him. So that this is the moment in time where Yoshihashi realizes that after that quick flurry, ending with the headhunter blockbusters. So Yoshihashi hits another drop kick, a low one though, for a 2 count. Yoshi might want to try and take it to the mat or something, because all these moves are hurting his shoulder even more, all his offensive moves. But instead, Yoshihashi makes the mistake here of quickening the pace. Will Ospreay just immediately hits a handspring attack and then plants Yoshi right to the outside. So Yoshihashi needs to find a better game plan here. Will now hits a springboard attack back in the ring as well as we go to the 10-minute mark of this match. Yoshihashi breaks a Chelsea grin attempt. He blocks that, but which might have ended the match here. But Yoshihashi hits a big attack now. Ospreay hits a nasty flip kick in response. It was like Jeff Hardy on steroids. Will then hits a scoop slam, goes up to the top rope, but Yoshihashi springs right up, hitting chops on Will, who's on the rope. Yoshi joins him up there, and they try this. Will desperately tries to strike his way out, then hits some headbutts on Yoshihashi and front suplex Yoshi to the mat from the top rope. Will then hits a phenomenal forearm and a Falcon Arrow right after that for another 2 count. So Yoshihashi has a little bit of fight left in him in this one, but is not in looking good. Yoshi then blocks the Cutter attempt and hits a dragon suplex here, but Finlay, who's on commentary, makes a good point that dragon suplex really hurt Yoshi as well. Yoshi battles back with big kicks here, but Will is able to block a karma attempt, which is similar to the Made in Japan we saw earlier. So big move here by Will being able to block the karma attempt, but Yoshihashi still maintains wrist control right after that. Will hits some strikes, but Yoshi won't let go. They trade some forearms now, but Yoshi switches up to some big chops. This causes some pain, and Will fires up. So both hit big shots, and both men go down. This time, Will Ospreay is the one to maintain wrist control. He pulls up Yoshihashi, but Yoshihashi surprises Will by hitting him with karma and getting a 2 count here. So that almost caught Will Ospreay by surprise and got the quick 1, 2, 3. So now we're at the 15-minute mark in this big heat and humid with a bunch of big moves hit so far. Yoshi then hits a big lariat, but then counters Will counters a karma attempt with Stun Dog Millionaire. Will then hits a springboard Cutter, but Yoshi's just barely able to kick out after that. Yoshi's able to duck under the hidden blade attempt, which definitely would have ended. Then Yoshihashi hits a super kick in midair to counter the Cutter that was coming back at him. Yoshi hits a Canadian Destroyer, but that only gets him a 2 count. Will Ospreay's just barely able to kick out. So what a match, but it won't end much longer. Who's going to get the big win here? Will Ospreay then counters another karma attempt with a super kick. And Yoshihashi ties it up here and hits some more big strikes. Somehow, I don't even know what happened, but Yoshihashi counters a big move, slamming Ospreay onto his face. Then Yoshihashi hits the Ushi-Giroshi, but again, Will Ospreay is able to kick out. Will then counters the next move with a standing Spanish fly of all things. Yoshi kicks out of that as well. Will then hits the Chelsea grin and the hidden blade, both in a row, completely knocking out Yoshihashi and getting the 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Will Ospreay. So, wow, Yoshihashi will have to come back from this in less than 24 hours, as the event tomorrow is 3 hours earlier than tonight's event. So Yoshihashi is going to be in a bad way in a must-win match against David Finlay. Will then stares down Finlay and celebrates his win here. Nakashima and Oiwa, the Young Lions, have to help Yoshihashi to the back after the nasty hidden blade to an already weakened Yoshihashi, who has really big shoulder problems and is going to be knocked loopy less than 24 hours before he has to get back in the ring with Finlay tomorrow. So for the 7-way tie to happen, Yoshihashi would have to win that match. So I know a lot of people are going to be rooting for Yoshihashi in that one against Finlay, but it looks like Yoshihashi has his back against the wall. He's not going to be in good shape against Finlay tomorrow night. So Will Ospreay now improves to 3-2. His last match on Tuesday is against Juice Robinson. So there definitely is the possibility of it still ending with like a 3-way tie or something like that, where I don't know, maybe we'll have a triple threat match on Wednesday to decide who goes to the semifinals on the same night, Wednesday. So that should be exciting no matter what happens. It's really heating up here in D Block, and we're down to only 3 matches left in D Block, 1 tomorrow and then 2 on Tuesday. So really good stuff. But we go to B Block for the main event as Jay White makes his return from the heat stroke. Jay White takes on Tai Chi here in the main event. So, Tai Chi is already mathematically eliminated, with Jay White being 4-0, with Tai Chi already picking up 2 losses. So, Jay White, and one of those losses was, the reason was because, Tai Chi lost to Tonga, so in Hiroshima. So with the Tai Chi's loss there, his only hopes are to Oh, if Tai Chi can win this match and then the other two tie, then there was still a little bit of chance, I think. But it's definitely time. Let's see if Jay White. We didn't even really get him mentioned tonight, so I'm assuming he's here. But nobody really mentioned that if he was or not. So anyway, Miho Abe comes out first. She's going to be central to this match, if you can believe it, as she introduces Tai Chi. Miho and Peter always are working on the same days during this tour, and that can't be a coincidence. So Tai Chi sings his way to the ring. Like I said, nobody had really mentioned Jay White all night, but of course, Jay White comes out for this big league match. So he missed the 2 matches in the preliminary tags over the week, saying that he had a heat stroke. Tai Chi called him out and said, "Yeah, right. You just wanted rest." So this is going to be interesting. It's a super hot building. If Jay indeed had a heat stroke less than a week ago, this is going to be rough being in 120-degree, 1,000% humidity. So we'll see if that works out. But maybe healing up some other body parts in the process. Even if he did have the heat stroke, he might have been able to heal those. So Jay has a much lighter body than Tai Chi, regardless of if the heat stroke was real or not. So Tai Chi is going to be up against it here in the hot heat, just like we saw with the Kenta Hinari match. So it might come down to a stamina battle, which Jay White would probably win, even if he did have the heat stroke for real. So this is going to be in trouble. Jay's in a terrible mood, yelling at everybody before the match, and then Tai Chi uses his size advantage right at the start here, but Jay backs into the ropes. Tai Chi gives him a clean break. Now Jay White wants to do some sumo wrestling here against the sumo wrestler Tai Chi, or at least he has a background in it. And Tai Chi teaches Jay what to do. And before they line up here, Jay White rakes the eyes and stomps on Tai Chi in the corner. Tai Chi reverses it, looking for a big kick here, but Jay rolls out of the ring before that happens. Gato then pulls. Gato pulls. I forgot to mention Gato accompanied Jay White as well. So we've got both people with people out, both wrestlers in the match with people seconding them. Gato pulls the leg of Tai Chi here. Jay can't take too much control off of this, but eventually applies a front face lock. Then they get to the ropes. No clean break from Tai Chi after those cheating acts. So then Tai Chi goozles Jay and Gato both around their throats. And then Jay is able to hot shot Tai Chi across the ropes, sending Tai Chi to the outside. So Jay now uses the cables around the throat. And this main event has been terrible so far, especially when Jay's now telling Miho Abe to shut up. Little did I know that Miho Abe would be abused in this match, which made it even worse. Come on, man. So anyway, Jay uses the apron. I forget what he did, but I think he trapped. He was using the apron, the choke. Yeah, that's what was happening. So then Jade stares down Miho Abe, sending her running away. Gato's not complaining and distracting to the referees, so Jay can use a towel around the throat. What is going on in this main event? Tai Chi then fights back with some weak kicks, so Jade just slams him down head first. Jay then uses a throat hold again, and both men goozle each other at the same time. Man, has this been a bad beginning. Hopefully the second half is better, which it is. Nothing could have been as bad as the first half of this match, but it's still, I can't really rate a match on like, oh, the second half was good, but the first match was crap. Like, if you already lost me in the first half, it's kind of hard to get into the second half. So I was kind of already lost at this point, but we'll get into it. Maybe some good stuff will happen here. So sorry, I've been reviewing these wrestling shows all night. Anyway, they're doing all those throat holds now and stuff, and then we come. It's almost as if Jay White then applies a chin lock, as if we're on SmackDown. This has been so sports entertainment heavy in this main event match. But Tai Chi now fires up, hitting some leg kicks. Jay comes back with some too sweet chops after that, and I guess Jay was just trying to outlast Tai Chi the same way Kenta did. That's why we got that opening that we did, because Jay White was just trying to wear down Tai Chi so that the match would go longer, basically. Tai Chi isn't exactly as big as Hinari, but it might work all the same like it did for Kenta earlier. Tai Chi then hits a Kamagori to the face of the kick to the face of Jay, buying him a little bit of recovery time here. Gato's now arguing. We can hear Gato arguing with Miho on the outside as Tai Chi now hits 3 nasty stiff kicks to Jay White's chest, then a kick to Jay White's back as well, equally stiff. The pace of this match stays super slow now, which Tai Chi is going to want. He is going to be up against it on the stamina tonight. So Tai Chi counters an attack here, hitting a nice uh, uh, heel hook kick here, and then Tai Chi should be able to should be getting rid of his pants in this heat, but chooses not to yet. Then Jay blocks the dangerous backdrop suplex, and Tai Chi hits a big strike instead. Tai Chi looks like he's tired from the heat as well, and you really can't ever tell with Jay. But Jay does have a hurt leg from a ton of leg kicks so far from Tai Chi. Jay's also holding his shoulder a little bit, but Jay goes back on the attack, hitting a big blade buster here. Tai Chi's just barely able to kick out, but it was a weak kick out. So that was a huge move, big move from Jay White. Jay's now out of breath as well, I can tell. So Jay is also struggling in the heat. Tai Chi now blocks the next move, but Jay hits the complete shot. Now Jay looks from and is successful with hitting the German right after. Jay rocks the baby, but Jay is sucking for air here and looking a little bit rough. But Jay's now looking to end it with a big Uranagi slam. Tai Chi kicks out at 2 again. Tama Tonga has to be loving what he's watching with Jay White sucking for wind in this match going for a long time. So Tai Chi then counters Jay, hitting an axe bomb, but Tai Chi counters right again and hits a big strike. Right after that, both men are now down as the crowd's cheering for them to get up. Tai Chi finally takes his pants off and signals for the end of this match, but now Gato is dragging Miho Abe by her hair on the outside. Jay White is, of course, able to capitalize on this distraction with a big German suplex. Jade now talks trash to Tai Chi about, why aren't you saving your damsel in distress? And Tai Chi can barely even stand at this point. So, but this does fire up Tai Chi, who gets up, absorbing chops like as if it was nothing. And then Tai Chi destroys Jay with one big nasty elbow strike. Tai Chi then goes to the outside, saves Miho Abe, who is crying here from Gato's attack. Kanemaru actually has gotten off a commentary and confronts Gato here a little bit, but nothing much comes out of that. Kanemaru might be in trouble if that wasn't planned. Tai Chi then goes after Gato, but is able to hit a back. Gato's Tai Chi is able to block a sleeper suplex from Jay that always gets blocked. Jay has to try to hit it at least 3 or 4 times before the sleeper suplex ever hits for Jay White. But then Tai Chi hits an axe bomber and the last ride power bomb, and I thought it might have been over, but Jay White's just barely able to kick out. Really good flurry there. A lot of people in the building also thought Tai Chi was about to win there. Tai Chi fires up again now, hitting us after they have a striking exchange. Tai Chi hits the dangerous backdrop on Jay White. Both men are now down. Tai Chi's the first one up, however. Looks like both men are out of stamina as we are now at the 20-minute mark in 1,000% humidity. So Tai Chi now hits a buzzsaw kick. Gato distracts Tai Chi yet again, but Tai Chi is able to block the Blade Runner attempt. Tai Chi then gets a good pin with his legs. Jay White's just barely able to kick out at 2. They counter big moves back and forth now as Tai Chi hits a sumo toss. Tai Chi blocks another Blade Runner attempt right after that, hitting the Yokozuna strike here. But again, Jay White is able to kick out. This crowd's super loud now. Jay blocks the Black Mephisto as Tai Chi blocks another Blade Runner. Tai Chi then hits the dangerous backdrop suplex again, but Jay is able to hit the Blade Runner before staying down. But now Jay White is so tired after all of that. He's out of reserves in the stamina, and he also got hit with the backdrop suplex, so he's not able to make the pin here. Both men are down. Eventually, Jay White decides he's not even going to go for the pin. He wants to hit another Blade Runner, but Jay White cannot get to his feet. Jay uses the ropes to get up. Eventually, Tai Chi blocks the Blade Runner with a desperate Goozle attempt around the throat here, but Jay is able to hit the Blade Runner anyway and gets the 1, 2, 3. The winner of the match by pinfall, Switchblade Jay White, and the fans are so mad that they walk out of the arena before Jay can even get to his feet. By the time Jay White is up to his feet, 75% of the fans are already gone because they're pissed that they just watched Gato assault Miho Abe, and then Jay White just wins anyway. So they are super mad. But just like everyone figured when the G1 schedules were announced, it's all going to come down to Jay White and Tama Tonga. Jay White's still undefeated at 5-0, so he might be looking for a time limit draw against Tama Tonga. We'll have to see how that match goes, but Tama Tonga comes into that match at 4-1, and Jay White does not need the win to take the block. Tama Tonga does need the win to take the block. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic of that match. I'm assuming it'll end up being the final match of Tuesday night, the Tuesday night main event. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm assuming it will be everything on the line. Plus, it includes the World Heavyweight Champion. So that's going to be a really good match. Jay White says to the crowd, "Hey, come back." And then Jay White basically yells at the Young Lions to get him ice, as well as Mima Shimoda, bring me ice. And then Jay White says, "Oh, you guys didn't hear? I had a heat stroke. But I live in Florida. You think sun and heat will bother me? How gullible and stupid are you guys? The days off were just worthless tag matches, and it was nice to have that rest for today's match and against Tama Tonga Tuesday. I shouldn't be saying all that. What I should be saying is thanks to all so much for your heartfelt wishes, saying, please, Jay White, get better. And it brought a tear to my eye. I wouldn't have been able to fight my heart out tonight without all of you. It's still my era, undefeated Switchblade era." So Jay White admitting that he pulled a fast one, there was no heat stroke, and that people might have even bought into it, sending him get well wishes. So Jay White confirming that he did not have a heat stroke. It was all a ploy. It was a plan to get out of those 2 tag matches. Jay White got 6 days of rest coming into his big 2 matches. Jay White knew he had a match today. He knew he would have the match against Tama Tonga, and then Jay planned on moving on, so he would have had matches on Wednesday and Thursday as well. So very smart idea here from Switchblade, who the crowd was already so mad at him that they didn't even stick around to hear him confess to his crime, which they might have heard him on their way out, which would have made them even more mad. So that's interesting. Now we're in the back. Jay White says, "I know you missed me. Welcome back to the 2J show. Shimoda, bring me a chair." Until next time, this has been the 2J show. So Jay just leaves right away, only bossing around Mima Shimoda first before leaving right away. So Jay White is definitely hurt and tired after this match. That's the whole reason he took the 2 days off by faking the heat stroke to begin with. So it all comes down to Tuesday, like we figured in B block. I knew immediately when the schedules were announced, it was all coming down to Tama Tonga against Jay White on the final day, and that's what we'll get. And if I'm correct with everything I've been predicting, I've always predicted Tama Tonga to win that match, go to the finals, lose in a tough match in the finals, probably to Okada, and then Okada will be set up to fight Jay White. But before they get to Wrestle Kingdom, it'll be Tama Tonga losing a really good title match at some kind of event, maybe a half-hour match against Jay White, maybe even 40 minutes. You know, Jay White can do a slow, drama-filled match where it doesn't seem like 40 minutes, but then all of a sudden you're there. But anyway, I'm going to get going. I'll try and get out a backstage comments translation video before tomorrow night's event, which is an early start time. So I will try my best to get that out. Maybe I'll just have to sacrifice doing New Japan Strong until after G1. I'll do New Japan Strong tomorrow, but I'm worried that Kevin Kelly is gonna spoil what happens on New Japan Strong immediately. Like they're gonna tell us what happens on New Japan Strong, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can get all 3 videos out later today. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Give me that subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the action, as we've only got 2 more days of league action tomorrow night and Tuesday night. Then we go right into Wednesday, Thursday, semifinals and finals. It's going to be really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thanks for joining me. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.